the personification of political risk diverging. There's the pound year to date against a basket, down 13%. There's the euro, 1% up. There's a great big gulf that can be travelled if politics unfolds in Europe. How susceptible is the euro at the moment?
I think the euro is doing quite well for a couple of reasons. The premier reason was last week's ECB, when you're seeing ECB admitting it's up against the practical limits of QE. So it can't do more now. It's trying to cry out for the fiscal side to come into gear. I think the political risks are there longer term for Europe, but we're seeing those unrolling, I think, in 2017. So there is a gap. There is a long-term political risk, especially around the elections. First of all, the Italian referendum, but then the elections early next year. But for now, the markets are certainly not trading the euro as a risky instrument. In fact, it seems a safe haven.
Talk to us about that. So there's political risk. What about the risks around the fiscal story? Because we've heard, as Francine was talking there, we've heard from many central banks about trying to hand on the baton from central bankers to fiscal actors and trying to persuade governments to do more. What appetite is there really in Europe to do more fiscally? And if there is appetite, where is it coming from?
I don't think there is appetite except for the ECB crying out for this to take place. I think that is what we're seeing. That is a passing of the baton. The market volatility here is about fretting this transition away from the central bank put and the simple, blind purchasing of assets and into the unknown of when does this fiscal stimulus come on board. And I think in Europe, the path to that fiscal stimulus is far more difficult than it is in Japan, where we're far more close to a coordinated central bank government policy. And U.S. perhaps as well, especially if it was a Trump presidency, but even a Clinton presidency, we'll see stimulus as well in the U.S. So Europe, the path to that transition is the most difficult and fraught with risks, as of course due to the framework and foundations of the EU with the multiple sovereigns and single central bank.
Tell me this, how do you think European assets would react to a substantial Juncker plan, an aggressive move to coordinated fiscal response? I know that I'm sort of having a little dream there that that's what might happen in Europe, not just Europe. How might European assets react in that scenario?
I think that it would be celebrated. I think equities would celebrate such a move. But I don't think we're going to look for fiscal stimulus from Juncker. I think it's the wrong place to look. It's going to be about the political heads of the real governments of these EU actors, Germany, France, coordinating action and showing the political commitment to this more than the EU. I think the EU is a figurehead institution on this front.
Back to the political risk. We're going to see Jean-Claude Juncker perhaps recognising divisions in Europe today, but essentially trying to bring people together. Then we look ahead to Bratislava at the end of this week, where perhaps there's more risk of divisions being writ large, the East-West division, perhaps North-South divisions. Where do you see the fault lines politically in this, as Europe tries to work out whether what's needed now is more Europe post-Brexit or less?
Well, I think I'm surprised that Juncker has survived this long after the Brexit vote, but he's still there. I don't think he's the political head that collects a commitment to Europe. I think we see a transition away from that. I think really, again, it's not about the EU Commission. It's about the governments showing a commitment to Europe, and there are a lot of political risks on that path, especially popular risks, as we're seeing from Brexit, as we're seeing from the U.S. elections, this anti-establishment popular tendency, and that's the big risk for Europe going forward.